and living thing. It's Michelle Daniel on BBC Radio Manchester. I have been promising you a treat all afternoon, and I'm glad to say he's made it. He's dragged himself out of bed, bless him, because he's been a little bit poorly over Christmas and Boxing Day. Paul Pashley, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
For blowing your nose and coming in.
I've been blowing it. I've got man flu, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it, man flu. So he's still got both legs, though, girls, so he can stand up. He's a Manchester-based jazz and swing singer, originally from Sheffield.
That's right, yeah.
But we're trying to put that behind us now, obviously. With a velvety, I think the producer of this programme, not today, it's not Simon, Helen, who's poorly today, bless her. I think she's got a bit of thing about you because she's written velvety, smooth voice.
I don't know if it's going to be very velvety today. I'll do my best. But yeah.
See,
there we go. Good start for me.
First album came out March this year?
That's right. Yeah.
Been a good year for you then.
Yeah, very exciting, and it's quite interesting the feedback I'm getting from the compilation that I've done. So I'm learning every day.
And you are absolutely singing your little heart out at the moment, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I have been with my band, different size bands, and promoting the album and things like that. You know, everybody into music knows exactly. You know yourself. You've got to go everywhere and anywhere, and that's what I've tried to do.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it.
Oh,
yeah, you've got a glint in your eye. Snotty nose aside, there's a glint in your eye that's not just guitar.
No, I love it. You know, I get to work with some of the best musicians from really, I'd say, the world. I mean, the album, the compilation, the guys on the album, Chris Spedding, who some people will know, Ian Dixon, a local, you know, he was in the BBC big bands and stuff with Brian Ferry, Sting, and you know, Mike Davis, a young trumpeter.
There's some classy performers in there.
Yeah, some great guys. You know, when they start playing, even on a live, you can't beat live when, you know, the trumpeter just goes into a solo.
Well, it's the resonance, isn't it? It just goes through you.
Oh, yeah.
And you just tingle all over, and you're vibrating with the instruments, aren't you?
It's quite funny because at the minute I'm out with my 4-piece on some Christmas days.
You show off.
And I've only got one brass. I've only got one guy on brass, and
it's cold. That's why.
But yeah, and you should see the women flirting with this guy.
Really?
It's quite interesting. A saxophone player.
My son took up saxophone for a while till he realised he couldn't shut up the birds whilst playing it, and then he sort of quit. He's passed it on now.
He tries his best, Simon. To be fair, he has tried his best, but I think he can't get through a solo without tingling a little bit sometimes.
Sounds like a character. So where are people seeing you out and about at the moment then? You've got a residency, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm a resident singer at Rosso Restaurant in Manchester, top of King Street. There's a couple of us there, good friends of mine.
It's good for the digestion, listening to music, live music while you're eating.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is...
Plus, if your company's really boring, you can use the performance as an excuse not to listen to them.
Absolutely. And I think the thing with Rosso is, for me, that it's about the atmosphere. So I get to sink in a little bit back, you know, in towards... The way I've actually learnt my craft is by being presented with different situations. If it's a concert, you perform different. If it's a Christmas party, you perform different. If it's a party, you perform... If it's a restaurant, then you just... You know, you look at your clientele in the room and try and pick songs that you think will complement them. You know, and that's all you can do, really.
Yeah. Do you ever have any pasta thrown at you or anything like that? They must get rowdy sometimes.
Yeah, you can actually. There's situations where you know that if you did certain songs, it will go off. You know, I mean, I don't mean go off as in like.
No, I know what you mean. Go on, what sort of songs?
For example,
anything with a football allegiance.
Well, it's quite interesting because there's songs that I think. In every audience, there's a singer. And simple songs. I mean, if I say a song like Sweet Caroline, that everybody knows the chorus.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Jersey Boys, Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Everybody knows the chorus. And you can actually see people itching. So you take the mic and that's it. And the same happened at the Midland the other week. Somebody said, oh, I'd love to sing. I said, well, you know, you can sing. For me, because it gives me a break, really. It gives me 5 minutes, to be honest. Oh, yeah, I know that song. And then you're whispering in their ear, you're just too good to be... Can't take my eye... Oh, I know this bit. I love you. And you just leave them then. And that's it. Go sit down and have a drink.
Get through the verse and then go and have a break.
Yeah, that's it. Go to the chorus. Have a Kit Kat, sit down, leave them to it and see what happens. It's all fun.
Doesn't it ever get frustrating, though, that they want to perform, they're not actually listening to you, the performer?
I think you have to take every situation for what it is. I think I've always said that if you're in a room where people have paid to see you, or if they're sat... A classic example is if you go into a room and people are sat on tables, they'll automatically, I feel, react different if they were sat in a theatre auditorium, because you can't escape that as a performer. You've got to either hit the note, sing well, or you will be found out. If people are on a table, I think you can get away with a little bit more. I'm not saying that's a good thing. For me, I'd rather have the auditorium, but on a table they're talking to each other.
And do you physically react differently depending on the environment that you're in? I know you will sing differently, but do you play the room completely differently?
Yeah, absolutely. If I've got a clientele from around 21 to, I don't know, whatever age, that are up for a party, then I'll say to the guys, number 46, which will be a different song to what I would have gone. And you can judge it like that. When you're out with a band, there's a lot of people that say singing with a band's the hardest thing to do. Singing with tracks is far, singing with band's hard. For me, I don't see that. I had a conversation with a friend the other day over Christmas saying that if I'm with a band and I go somewhere, the band will follow me
you because they're professionals and they know what they're doing.
And the track's not going to follow you. So if you do something wrong, and going back to the audience, if you've got an auditorium and they're all watching you, you're completely exposed. If you've got people around having fun, then you're exposed, but they'll also go back to having a drink.
Well, don't worry, there's absolutely nobody having fun here this afternoon, so you can do what you like. And on that note, we will hear you sing it in just a moment. I'm just going to catch up with some travel news.
BBC Radio Manchester. Travel update.
And with the latest out and about, here's the one and the only, some would say, thank goodness, Marie.
They would. Quite a bit of last-minute shoppers by the looks of things, Michelle. We've got heavy traffic in Bury on Peel Way. We've got heavy traffic spinning Jenny Way in Leand, Twist Lane, just near the retail park. The Handforth bypass, that's eased off a little bit. But if you're travelling towards Stockport from Hazel Grove, there's a queue on the A6. And reports of a broken-down vehicle westbound Tatton to Lymm on the M56. So towards the M6 itself in that direction, it's a little bit slower than normal. The rest of the motorways clear as a bell. Keep in touch 0161 228 2255.
New Year's Eve with Gerald Jackson.
Careful, it's time to bid a fond farewell to 2014 and happily welcome a new year. We'll ring in 2015. And listen back to some of the songs that provided the backdrop to the last 365 days. And pass on your last greetings of the past 12 months. 31,556,926 seconds will almost have elapsed.
Bring in 2015 with Gerald Jackson this evening from 10. BBC Radio Manchester.
So Gerald's from 10. Don't forget, of course, Tony Blackburn from 7 o'clock tonight through till 10 o'clock. The boys are definitely going to keep you company. But we've got quality. Never mind all that. We've got quality for you this afternoon, if I can get all the buttons right. This is a test for me, not for Paul. Paul Pashley is going to be singing live in the studio. And what are we going to sing?
I'm going to sing...
When I say we...
Me and my...
I'm not going to join in, I promise. It's not a restaurant.
No, you can.
No, don't. No, don't be saying that.
It's up to you. It's New Year's Eve.
Listen, I was in the karaoke finals at Pontins at some stage one year. Yeah.
Sounds like you should use that mic with me now.
Yeah, no, on your bike, mate. I only do Lisa Stansfield.
All right, okay.
It's a special number. And only when I'm drunk. So what are we going to sing?
I'm going to sing Oh Look At Me Now, my arrangement from my new album.
Well, we shall do our best to get this right for you. And you belt it out, son.
Okay.
Never mind the cold.
I'm not the guy who cared about love, and I'm not the guy who cared about fortune and such. I never cared much, oh, look at me now. I never knew the technique of kissing. I never knew the thrill I would get from your touch. I never cared much, oh, look at me now. I'm a new man, better than a Casanova at his best. With a new heart and a brand new start, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest. So I'm a guy who turned out a lover, and yes, I'm the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. Just one of those things, oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Casanova at his best. With a new heart and a brand new start, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest. So I'm a guy who turned out a lover, and yes, I'm the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. One of those things, oh, look at me now. I'm not the guy who cared about love. I'm not the guy who cared for fortune and such. Oh, look at me now.
I feel very spoilt. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm hungry now. That is amazing. Is that the kind of music that you've got on the album?
Yeah, I mean, I start with, I wanted to do something a little bit different on the album. I think that if I'd have done the standards like Fly Me to the Moon, Comply With Me, A Foggy Day, you'll get compared all the time to different artists. And I wanted to do songs that if people dug a little bit within the genre back, they'd discover. And that was actually, I think it was one of the first songs that Sonata did with Dorsey, and I wanted to jive it up. So all the arrangements are my own on it, and I'm very proud of the guys and what they've done for me, the musicians that have worked on this, because, like I say, the Chris Speddings have just added to each track. So things like Dancing in the Moonlight, Phil Lynnett's mom's endorsed it for me. She heard it, and she said, I love it, and thank you for doing it, which is really
That's
proud.
cool.
But then Chris Spedding, who played on it, played with Phil Lynott. So they've got
what goes around little
links
links
to everything. But if you like blues as well, and a little bit of pop with I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, things like that, I've got as much as I can cram on it, really.
It's brilliant, because you've obviously got a real love for the music.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while to. Everybody said I should have sung, and I actually went to university to train as an actor, and I went off to London and ended up in pantomime in Coventry, and the MD in the panto in Coventry. It was quite funny because I was, believe it or not, I was circus trained at 15 in a shopping centre. Yeah, I used to.
Sorry, circus trained, I understand. In a shopping centre?
Well, I mean, when I say circus, I didn't run away to the circus. It was quite local, and they had their own entertainments company, and I learned a lot from the performers, like acrobats and things like that. And
Seriously?
and I was doing doo-wops. So I had my hand in all sorts of different areas of performance, but I wanted to be an actor. And everybody said you should stick with the singing. And, I was like 18, 19. I said, I'm going to do this, just what I want to do. So I went to university and trained in TV and film, and ended up in pantomime. And the MD in pantomime said, you know what, you should be singing. I was playing 5 parts in this pantomime because of my circus training. I was doing an animatronic giant. I was doing all these things. And he said to me, I want you to sing as part of the principal cast. So I was on the phone to the agent going, listen, as much as I love this, I'm getting more and more things to do. And the bass player introduced me to a guy that ran the Memphis Belle Big Band course on the motion picture.
Love Memphis Belle movie.
And I ended up coming across
I'm a huge Glenn Miller fan.
Yeah, I ended up working with the Glenn Miller, a tribute to Miller, and all the stuff with regards to the Memphis Belle, the Kings of Swing, all that genre of music. And I got to sing it as myself. I wasn't a tribute, which was important for me. I didn't want to be a tribute, and I don't want to be a tribute. And that, for me, helped me progress into having my own big band and my own small bands, and eventually the album. And, this year I want to push on and try and get some concerts in there.
So you don't miss the tights?
I don't miss the tights, no. There was a time when it's cold, when, they did help. And my skirt, but no.
Yeah, well, And I'm sure in some situations those circus skills will come in extremely useful.
I've tried to put them to bed, but they do keep creeping out, and I do keep trying to go around that, and I've probably put myself in it again saying it today. So
you want to wheel them out and keep everybody entertained, sing and juggle at the same time. Nobody else is doing that.
If they throw eggs, I can juggle
Mickey
them,
Bubble doesn't do that. You get away with it. So you're gonna sing something completely different for us now, aren't you? This is not a Sinatra bass.
No, this is from a band that obviously, I suppose, took the world by storm, really, from Sheffield. This is a cover of the Arctic Monkeys, one of their most famous songs, and this is done with my own little twist.
Well, look forward to hearing this. Paul Pashley, you are a star.
Pleasure, thank you very much.
Even without the tights.
making the eyes at me, I'll stop making the eyes at you. What it is that surprises me is that I don't really want you to. When your shoulders are frozen, you're an explosion. Your name isn't Rio, but I don't care for sand and light in a fuse. My result in a bang, but if I go, I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, or I don't know what you're looking for. I bet that you look good on the dance floor. Dance to electropop like a robot from 1984. I wish you'd stop ignoring me because it's sending me to despair. By the sound you know you're calling me, and I don't think it's very fair when your shoulders are frozen. You're an explosion. Your name is a Rio, and I don't care for sand and light in a fuse. My result in a bang, 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 go. I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, or I don't know what you're looking for. I said I bet that you look good on the dance floor. Dance to electropop like a robot from 1984. From 1984. There ain't no love, no Montagues or Capulets. Just swinging tunes and DJ sets. And on the dance floor, dreams of naughtiness. I said I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, or I don't know what you're looking for. I said I bet that you look good on the dance floor. Dance to electropop like a robot from 1984. Well, I bet that you look good on the dance floor. Dance to electropop like a robot from 1984. From 1984.
Wow! I'm sorry
you.
there's only me in here, but everybody's just riveted outside. You would never tell you had a cold. That was,
Thank you.
that was absolutely stunning.
Thank you very much.
So how are you spending your New Year's Eve?
Well, I'm working tonight with the band. My girlfriend's coming across, bless her, and one of my best friends is coming across to stand and have a beer at the side of the stage. And then when I finish, because I live in the centre, we're going to go to a few places and
See some fireworks? There's going to be a lot of people out
absolutely.
tonight.
Yeah,
A lot
so
of
I'm looking
people out
forward to
tonight.
it.
Well, have a fantastic
You too
New
as well.
Year and
Thank
have
you.
a brilliant 2015.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Tights or no tights, and if you could send me pictures, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll get some
I'm a
tights,
woman of
don't
a
worry.
certain age. You have to take your pleasures where you find them. Paul, thank you very much.
Bless you, thank you.
The album More is out now. It's Paul Pashley. He's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and that has thoroughly set me up for a fantastic New Year's Eve. I hope you're planning to do something really exciting. Mine won't be exciting. The latest my house ever stays up is Eurovision, so we're not exactly classy in my house, but we will hopefully see the new year in. I've seen it in Australia this afternoon, so I can't ask for much more than that. If you're out and about, take it easy, be careful, no drinking and driving. Don't want to be reading about you in the news tomorrow, so be careful, but have a fantastic time, whatever you're doing. If you are staying with the radio this evening, we've got Shoujo up at 3 o'clock through till 6. At 7 o'clock tonight, a real treat for you, Tony Blackburn, yeah, the real one. Not an impersonator. We're not that cheap. With the real Tony Blackburn with you from 7 through until 10 o'clock here on BBC Radio Manchester. And from 10, it's the infamous, the one and only Gerald Jackson taking us through till the early hours of tomorrow morning. He's going to be seeing us in, him and Big Ben, ably assisting at midnight with some brilliant music from the past year. If you've got some dedications, he's definitely going to want to hear from you. So if there's someone that you haven't had a chance to see over the Christmas and New Year period, make sure you give him a ring tonight. He will be delighted to sort this out for you. And I'm going to dedicate this, even though he's just mentioned he's got a girlfriend, because I must have had that look in my eye. I'm going to dedicate this to Paul Pashley, because I think I am now a woman in love. He's laughing. At least he's laughing they're not running.